PennDOT Connects allows us to take the plans that we have for the region and to tie those into our infrastructure investment strategy. So really it allows us to build in some efficiencies into the planning process and the planning program that we didn't necessarily have before. It really provides a solid platform for collaboration, not just in the planning, but in the implementation of a project. So ultimately, I think that helps create better projects and better communities. PennDOT Connects was really helpful to our region when FedEx proposed its largest ground facility in the United States of America. And now UPS is also going to have a facility in our region too, and that alone is 900 jobs. So we're talking at this point close to 3,000 jobs between two facilities. And when you have workforce living over here and then you have places where they need to work over there, having that conversation of how we get people to their jobs becomes very important. And it's not just by car, it's also working with our transit providers and also making sure that there's adequate bus stops, sidewalks, those sorts of things so people can continue to earn a living, and that we as a region and as a Commonwealth can accommodate that type of growth and development here. Before an infrastructure investment is made, it's really important for PennDOT to know what the priorities of your community are, where your parks are and where your trails may connect to a road or bridge project or transit project that the Commonwealth is looking to invest in. And that includes your business community. So having that early communication with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation is a tremendous opportunity to be able to represent your citizens in your community. It's more than just from a local government perspective too. It's also an opportunity to bring in your schools and your businesses, your trail partners, your transit partners, your metropolitan planning organization to make sure that the global needs of the community are being met. And PennDOT Connects really provides a platform for that to happen.
PennDOT Connects has developed strong working relationships in the communities. They actually puts a name with a face. We go out there and work with them. They understand the process. So it's an education for them and also for us. And so we understand their needs, and so it builds those strong relationships. And also, PennDOT Connects has really established great credibility with the communities because one of the things we've seen is that once they bring up questions or areas of concern, they realize we're there to try to work with them hand in hand to develop better solutions for the community. PennDOT Connects also allows us to understand what their long-term visions in those communities. So we get access to their comprehensive plans, and then what we can do is use our projects in support of their vision. And it really helps out not only us identifying those projects and issues early in the process, but developing them. Another benefit for PennDOT Connects is we sit down with all the stakeholders. In particular, let's talk about the transit agencies. So we look at a particular corridor that we know we're going to do improvements. We sit down with them, plot all the bus routes, also their bus stops. So if there's a better way of picking up their constituents, we can do that and maybe change the design, and that's worked very well, and it made the corridor much safer by addressing that. One of the things that we've seen also a great benefit for PennDOT is the communication. And it's a continuation of communication. So it allows us not only to talk about a project early in the process, then once design begins, that communication continues on, and then once in construction. So if an issue does arise, whether it's in design or construction, we're in constant communication with the communities, and if an issue does arise, we can work through that and they can be helpful and come to the table with solutions. That's been very beneficial for us.
think PennDOT Connects has given us a really fantastic process to help build the relationships with the partners that we work with. So for one example, PennDOT Connects has helped us build the relationships with project managers at our PennDOT district, get to know each other better. They have a better understanding of the data and analysis that we can provide for them as the Metropolitan Planning Organization. And at the same time, we have a better understanding of what the project managers are dealing with in terms of constraints and processes they have to follow. And also, perhaps most importantly, PennDOT Connects has given us a great opportunity to get to know people at the municipal level, to put a face to the partner that you might receive emails from, and to get to know each other on a one-to-one basis. Oh, I could cite many, many examples of PennDOT Connect successes. I could probably talk for hours about successes, but one particular success that I would like to talk about in our region is working with maintenance and surface treatment projects, which doesn't maybe sound that exciting, but there are some real opportunities. For one thing, there's just many more of those types of projects in our region, so we can reach more municipalities by working through those projects. And one particular example that I think really exemplifies it is we worked with a municipality where there was a resurfacing surface treatment project coming in, and where they wanted to better connect some neighborhoods to a trail. So we were able to restripe the roadway to have bike lanes on either side just by doing a surface treatment project, and it was something that the county wanted to see happen, the Metropolitan Planning Organization was interested in, and the municipality really wanted. So it really was a win for everyone. One piece of advice for municipalities is to think about how to accomplish some things incrementally. So for example, sometimes it might not be possible to do the big picture improvement that you want to do, but you might be able to make a small improvement that starts to build towards something bigger. And sometimes that might even help you get the funding at a later time, have a better grant application, because you've been working with all your partners and you've demonstrated to your community that you're taking a step in that direction. So sometimes it's better to take some small steps to get to that big goal than to try to swing for the fences every time.
PennDOT Connects has affected us that we have more of a relationship with municipalities. We have more of an openness and a back and forth exchange of information. They have developed a trust factor with us that we really believe helps when we're developing a project and seeing the project through completion, the construction, but also when we get into the maintenance phase of our projects, where what do we do for the long term and how does this help both the municipality and PennDOT? PennDOT Connects is a successful program because it does help us with municipalities as far as collaborating information, collaborating with projects that they may have that we may be able to incorporate into our project, or vice versa. We're trying to maximize the available funding, and we're trying to do a job so that we're there one time. The advice I have for municipalities as far as the PennDOT Connects program is to get involved. If someone asks to have a meeting with you and discuss a project, it's really beneficial to both them and us to have that dialogue continue and start looking at ways that maybe we can partner together and have programs or projects that we do a collaboration effort with both them and us, and maybe we can maximize some dollars and be more efficient with the available funding that we do have.
As the Metropolitan Planning Organization for a 9-county region, 5 counties in Pennsylvania and 4 counties in New Jersey, we are a bi-state Metropolitan Planning Organization. We're responsible for the continuing cooperative and coordinated planning for our region. We really serve as facilitators for the region with multiple stakeholders. PennDOT Connects really enables us to actualize and deliver on that planning process. One of the examples of PennDOT Connects and the success in our region and how it just is going to exemplify how this is going to improve things in the future. We have an enormous thoroughfare through the city of Philadelphia called Roosevelt Boulevard. It's a 12-lane road. It's very complicated. There are a lot of safety issues. One of the projects that was proposed looked like a bridge on an exit ramp. And as you listen to that, it doesn't really sound like much, but when you get onto the ground and really look at it, it turns out that this exit ramp really serves as a street and part of the urban fabric there. It was next to a park. Folks were crossing through the park. They had actually broken a hole through a chain link fence and able to get onto the sidewalk and able to get up to this intersection. And just the PennDOT Connects communications at the very beginning identified, you know what, it makes sense to really redo the sidewalks. Let's look at this egress through the park. Who are the city agencies that are responsible for this? So PennDOT Connects really enables us to bring multiple agencies together with PennDOT, with the county, with the MPO. It could be a phone call with 10 different people on there, all hearing the same message and the same story at the same time. PennDOT Connects can really help municipalities in a lot of ways. I think the word is really starting to get out there now so that municipalities are starting to hear what PennDOT Connects is, maybe what it can do, and I would really encourage municipalities to do a few things. A is to take advantage of opportunities when they are invited to a meeting at PennDOT or at the MPO or at the county or anything that deals with transportation. It gives opportunity to meet people face to face. If there are concerns that are related to a particular project area, they have opportunity there to talk about some other things. It really just is such a great information sharing process that all of those opportunities really make a difference. One of the other things I would suggest and really advise is that it really helps when municipalities have identified their own planning priorities. It helps all of us understand better what their priorities are so that when we're all getting together and having these conversations, they're very clear about what their priorities are. So the more that they can do that, the better it helps all of us understand what their needs are.
PennDOT Connects, I think, has a very profound impact on how we have been doing business at the Lycoming County Planning Commission and the Williamsport Metropolitan Planning Organization. For years, we've had difficult struggles trying to communicate with our municipalities on a whole range of transportation issues and needs, mainly because we have the largest county in terms of geographic square miles within the state of Pennsylvania. So communication can be difficult. And PennDOT Connects allows us to have a systematic process where when we're about to launch a transportation project, before we develop a scope of work or do anything with it, we make a systematic, regular communication with those municipal officials where the project is located to get their input very early on so that we don't have sudden dramatic changes in the scope of work midway through the project or foster expectations about a project that aren't met. Ironically, in the city of Williamsport, which is our capital in Lycoming County for our county seat, we are in the middle of a $20 million public-private partnership to revitalize what we call the Old City section of Williamsport. And that initiative, before PennDOT Connects even started, was called Connect Williamsport. And so when we sat down with the city of Williamsport and the surrounding communities to go over projects, we realized that there were some significant transportation improvements that were on the table that we really needed to flesh out better with the community and tie them into a lot of proposed redevelopment ideas. And the cornerstone of that whole city revitalization project is the expansion of Lycoming College, which has been around in our community since 1812. And they had some expansions in the past, but now, thanks to the leadership of their new college president, Dr. Tracty, he realizes that the college needs to be integrated with the city and that Williamsport is really a college town. So he's putting over $12 million investment from the college side to build a gateway entrance building off of Basin Street, which we're looking at as a new front door to Williamsport off of Interstate 180. There will be streetscape improvements that we're going to tie with that, and other types of transportation improvements that will benefit transit, bicycles and pedestrians, and allow college kids to basically interact with the downtown much more than they currently do. So here's a great example where Connect Williamsport and PennDOT Connects met, and they are finding a happy marriage. And I know with regular meetings, we didn't have one. We've had about 15 meetings now through the PennDOT Connects process, and we have really evolved these projects to something that I think the community is going to be very proud of. I would urge PennDOT Connects participants, whether they're municipalities, we've even actually included some other transportation stakeholders like school districts and emergency responders to join that group. But I would encourage those municipalities and the other groups that take it seriously, first of all. Speak your mind, tell us what you really want for the community. Don't wait until the ribbon cutting occurs on a project and say, oh, why didn't they do this or that with the project? So we're encouraging folks to speak up, but we also tell them to speak up responsibly, because any need that you identify obviously is going to have a cost. And the expectation that PennDOT would pay for all of the ideas that you have really is not realistic when you consider the transportation budget limitations we all face. Nothing in Lycoming County that was ever big or successful ever happened without a partnership. So PennDOT Connects for us should be no different. And we will work with them through the project development process with their questions. Just because you have a PennDOT Connects meeting at the outset doesn't mean the communication should stop. Please feel free to get a hold of us, contact us. We'll schedule as many meetings as it takes to make your community a great community. I think looking forward with PennDOT Connects, it's important as leadership changes within the state of Pennsylvania that we sustain PennDOT Connects over time, because it can't be one of those things where we start an exciting new process establishing communication with municipalities and they start feeling good about, they're getting their needs met, and then abruptly the whole thing stops. Nobody knows why, and because of a change in leadership that might happen down the road, we are back to where we were. So PennDOT Connects was a great idea that needs to continue and be sustainable over the long term.